It's been 11 months since I started my Airbnb journey, and woo, I've learned so much about people, about myself, and about business. From cleaning turnovers at 11 p.m. to reading little notes that guests leave for me. This journey has stretched me in ways I didn't even expect. If you've ever thought about starting your own Airbnb company or just chasing something new, this is for you. So I started my Airbnb company because I always wanted to be my own business owner. I saw my dad being an entrepreneur who was learning how to make it in life, and also just other people like doing entrepreneurship, but that I also saw the corporate side of working and getting a college degree to go work 40 to 50 years for a company. And I believe for me, more appealing was the entrepreneurial side and just going after dreams that you've envisioned yourself doing. So that's the reason I ended up starting my Airbnb company, because I saw myself being a business owner full time, and also I see myself being a business owner full time. And then also financial freedom, and then opportunities to learn how to grow a business. Those things are all very important to me. So after 2 years of sitting on this idea, I eventually reached out to some people and got started really quickly. It took 2 weeks to fully get that idea from the first action step to the final product of listing the Airbnb and having it booked. When I got the keys for the first time, I was just like ecstatic. Wow, this is actually way easier than I expected it to be. And it was as simple as it seems. I think a lot of times we go into different businesses expecting it to be so difficult to either get started, get initiated, or whatever else it may be. But honestly, a lot of times the ideas that we're just sitting on, we are self-conforming some limiting beliefs behind why we haven't started already. It took me 2 years to get out of that. And it's like now I know whatever I do get into, it's super simple, super easy. I just need to have an action plan written down and then fill in the blanks whenever there becomes a blank. So I am excited 11 months later, officially coming out with the information on my Airbnb. But I have currently one property right now, looking to expand and get into more in Arlington, Texas, under my LLC, because everything's official over here. And it feels great, to be honest. It feels really great. So the reality of hosting is this. Turnovers is probably the number one thing that you should focus on. Outside of course, your aesthetics and what's going to attract the guests, you need to have a clear-cut system of what the process is for turning over. Who is your main cleaner? Who is your secondary cleaners? Do they have everything they need? Do they know what they need to do in order to fully get this idea into fruition? What do you want your place to look like when a guest enters the house? Those are the most important things in terms of the process of Airbnb. I think the difficult thing for me was getting cleaners. I had to interview a couple of cleaners on the phone. I think I interviewed about 5 to 8 cleaners on the phone just to see who is my style, who is going to incorporate the ideas that I want to see. How are they going to make my guests feel with their cleaning? And are they very thorough with it? Those are the most important things, because those make or break the reviews that you'll receive on your listing. Guest communications is also something that's super important. And the way I did it, I was able to set everything up in the beginning, which helped alleviate so much communication on my end. So it doesn't actually feel like much of a task to just communicate. It was different before when I ended up getting set hours that I'll communicate with people. But like if they hit me up at 2 a.m. and there's a problem going on, those are the times where it's like having a system for that will alleviate a lot of stress when it comes to different things that you might encounter with your setup. No one told me about the little surprises that might come up, like handling early check-ins and late checkouts. And do you want to charge that as an upcharge, or do you want to do that complimentary to people? Or let's say there is an issue with the Airbnb, maybe you will comp that or give them discounts and things of that nature. Getting us that process behind those things in the beginning is something I do differently next time around, or for my next unit, especially if I'm just starting out as well. Also supplies. How regularly do you think you're gonna have to buy toilet paper, tissue, trash bags, dish detergent, soaps, body wash, conditioner, shampoos? Those are the things that you don't really think about when you're getting into this business, but most definitely, I feel like behind any business, one thing I'm learning is a system will keep you in business. A system will keep you on top of the curve. and help you to really just outpace other people that are around you who don't have those systems in place. I feel like that's a lot of times why other businesses are retiring, are failing, especially when it comes to the baby boomer businesses, because they've written things down on a book for so long. So that was always their system. But now that we have more processes that we can automate ourselves, I think that it will help us to propel into the next generation of just thriving businesses as life goes on, as time goes on. It wasn't just about hospitality. It was about learning how to operate as the CEO, even when I was the cleaner, the marketer, and the host all at the same time. So moments that touched me as being an Airbnb host is probably one of the most recent moments I've had with a guest. I was communicating with them on Airbnb, the app, and I could already tell that they were super genuine, super kind and caring, and they would be wonderful for the space. But I ended up having to clean after them, which was unexpected. But when I went in there, they left me a note. So let me show you all the note. Hold on. And the note says, so it has dishwasher, it has clean dishes at the top right here. But it says, thank you so very much. We'll be back at 4 p.m. or earlier to grab our bags. They said that they mentioned that because I ended up offering them an add-on service for a late checkout for their bags. They said, sorry for leaving the things in the fridge. I didn't have the heart to throw them away, and we can't take them home or fly with them home. All were purchased at Kroger's Thursday evening. So eggs, butter, mayo, and ham are fresh. Hopefully you're someone who would use them. All the best. And then she signed her name. But I don't know, moments like this, even though it's not even tailored to me, I think it just shows, I don't think humanity is completely falling. There's some rough patches in this world, but at least they were kind enough to leave here. I think they left some drinks, some water, a half case of water, and of course eggs and the ham, as she mentioned. We ended up throwing away some of the perishable foods that couldn't be used, but like things that definitely are more acceptable to using them, or more things that you'd see in the hotel, we left those. And then I also asked the guests who came in after them if they wanted some of the perishable items just before I threw them away. So it ended up working out well for everybody, all parties. And just their stay in general was so beautiful. I love when guests come and just respect the space. That makes me offer them a discount code for when they come back, because I'd love for them to come back and stay with me again. So moments like that really do touch me. Having this business so far has shaped my view of success, because, man, success is defined by what we define our own worth as. Whatever my father feels like is successful for me is his definition of success. My definition is completely different, and that's okay. That's okay. Your definition for me or your definition for you is going to be completely different. But to be honest with you, I only care about my perception. Not to say that I don't respect other people's opinions, but to be honest, they do not matter, because I'm not going to let someone else base my worth based on what they feel like they deserve or what they feel like they don't deserve or whatever it is. To me, it's about what matters to me. And that's one of those things that I've had to learn. Success isn't making $100,000 a month, not necessarily. Not to say that if I get there, when I get there, it's not going to be, I'm not going to feel joyful about it. But it's more so, I was great before that, and I will be great after that. And I'm just not going to let something like that deter me or make me feel like, I got to reach this standard in the world in order to feel successful. No, that's not how it is for me. So I hope you hear this and know that that's the truth for you as well. Don't let anyone else to define your standard of success. Not your parents, not your loved ones. You are the only person who can define your standard of success. Balancing this business with my 9 to 5, man, oh man, oh man. I'm very fortunate that my 9 to 5 is very flexible. I work 4 hours, 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. So I automatically get Fridays off, which has helped tremendously, especially when it comes to business planning, because you do need to set time aside each week to grow your business and strengthen it, because you're the one who's pouring in those seeds to flourish that business. So I think that's really nice and flexible. But there have been times where I've had to leave work early. Thankfully, I hadn't had meetings, and I don't usually have meetings after 3 or 4 p.m. On occasion I do, but most weeks I do not. And so it's been very wonderful there because I've been able to leave if I need to go clean the units. I can do that really quickly. But overall, I love not cleaning the unit, me personally, because the cleaners do a fantastic job, and that's their business. That's their job. Why I use cleaners who have their own companies, so independent cleaners or contractors, as you may call them. I do not go through a cleaning company. One, because I believe that they're just overly expensive for no reason. Maybe there's reasons in their business model. Through me personally, I want to support the small businesses. I want to support minority businesses, and I want to support people who are doing their own thing. So I'm not doing the whole big companies when I go get cleaners for my unit. FYI. Do it your way. I don't care if you feel a different way about that. Do it your way. So far what's worked well, honestly, a lot of things have worked well. One thing I do have to say we're working on is our pricing strategies. I feel like if I would have gotten one of those smart pricing things, even if I only have one company, it beats me trying to do all the research to figure out all the events that are happening in this city at whatever date in this year or whatever, for me to change my pricing guide. I'd rather just have a guided system do it for me automatically. That way I can maximize profits versus getting on my own understanding of what's happening, because I focus on so many other things that I can't honestly possibly keep up with every single event that's happening in not only Arlington but all of Dallas and Fort Worth, to figure out, okay, people are going to want to go to this event versus that event, so let me boost it up like that. I think I would have done though, because I did know the Tyson fight, was it Tyson and Jake Paul? I forgot who was fighting. It was last year, November 22nd. If I would have my Airbnb up before then, man, I'm telling you, I feel like I probably could have got $5,000 off that weekend, just that weekend alone. So anyway, that's besides the point. Pricing strategies I would work better on, or I would focus more on, especially if you're starting out. To the pricing strategies, don't just depend on your own self and your own understanding, unless you do some other research, like going to some realtors and figuring out what is the good pricing model that I should have on my weekdays and versus my Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Okay, that matters. So do not make that all the same. Weekdays definitely should be lower, weekends higher, because more people are traveling out throughout the weekend, so it's automatically going to be just a bit higher. My presentation to business partners, I think, was spectacular, because I had a good general idea of the entire business model before I got into the business. And I think that helped with people that I did reach out to who were entrepreneurial mindset and who would be interested in the business. I think they mentioned that my presentation was really, really good because I knew as much as I could for where I was. So I think that when you have a vision, literally do all the research, become obsessed with that vision, and just go for it. You'll hopefully, prayerfully see the fruits of that labor. Last but not least, I have to say all the guests love my communication skills. So that's one thing. I think with Airbnbs, hotels, anything residential, anything things like that where you have business to consumer, hospitality skills are a must. I feel like if you have hospitality skills, you will flourish. As long as you are also growth minded and you're not kind of closed out, or you have people that can help broaden your mindset in those areas, I think you'll be great with any business model that is direct to consumer. Okay, it takes customer service skills, hospitality skills to really flourish in those areas. So I think that's been one thing that the guests have loved for me. Even if our worst review has been, I think we've only had 1 2-star. I don't know if we've had any 3 stars. We haven't had any 1 stars. We get mostly 5 stars and 4 stars, but we did get 1 2-star, and she still gave me a 5 for communication. So I'm telling you. So this business has taught me so much, just about discipline, about problem solving skills, and about time management, because being in it for at least 11 months, there has to be some type of consistency that you show up for. And I've seen it replicated in different areas of my life, just my daily routines, morning routines, night routines, and that I operate throughout the week. I do certain things on certain days just to help me be focused and maintain the flow and the peace that I like to keep in my day-to-day life. It helps me out, especially because I'm someone who plans everything for the most part. I like things to be uniform, so it helps me out tremendously. Solving, because there's times with this business model where you are going to encounter things that you wouldn't have thought that you'd have to encounter. One situation we had was with the door. We don't own this property. This is an arbitrage model. The door was our guest was not able to get into the door for a few hours. And it kind of is a few things that me and my business partner had going on throughout the day, because we had to go to the unit and check it out, see what was wrong. It ended up being some type of screw fixture. Like the screw was getting caught in the door. And so it wasn't like you could bust the door down, but then we'd have bigger issues. So, okay, you can't do that. Solution A is a flop. Could try to, pick it out. That was the second option. And that's kind of what we did. Just like going through all the motions, like what is going to be the long-term solution? What's going to be the short-term solution? How can we get this done? And since we aren't necessarily maintenance or control over the door, what's the best way for us to get this done? So just different things that you'll have to process and think more strategically about with this business. But I think that's the beauty of having one, like just growing and figuring out like what's best for you, and how do you want to elevate the space? How do you want to elevate the business? How do you want to continue moving forward so that it is, And like I mentioned, time management. I think I'm okay with time management. I'm still working on being to every place that I go. I like to be there on time, at least like 5 to 10 minutes earlier. But with this one, time management, you kind of get rated on time management. Like if you want to become a super host, you have to reach out to your guests at least within the hour that they reach out to you for the first time, or like for however many messages. They literally look at your averages to see like they look at your averages to see when you will respond to your guests. So time management is definitely key in this business, as well as other businesses, because like who doesn't, oh my gosh, sorry for all the background noise. I might have to move. I might have to leave. We'll see. So through all the challenges I've had to face and encounter so far, the ways I've stayed grounded through all of this is just understanding that, God is not going to leave me nor forsake me. If God has placed it in your heart to start something, best believe, regardless whatever's going to go on, he's going to carry you through it. And, whether that is through scaling and, optimizing it as best as possible, or to understanding some lessons through behind the business, to closing it down, whatever that might be, I think just keeping that faith has kept me grounded. And understanding that, like, I am a wonderful person. I am a great person. No, I may not be the smartest person because I don't have the smartest IQ in this world, but best believe I'm a perseverer. I am someone who can take a challenge and overcome it regardless, in any which way I need to. So I think just having that faith in myself, understanding that I do have the right people around me in my circle, which is super important. You're going to have anybody. Make sure you do have the right people in terms of like family that you're telling about your business, or your business partners themselves. So y'all need to be aligned. Throughout all of that, I think that I've been able to just grow mentally through this business because I am very persistent, and I'm understanding that, like, regardless of whatever I encounter, I am going to get through it. I'm going to find the best solution, and we're going to get it done. Okay, you hear me? Praying before my business meetings, I believe, has helped in terms of keeping God centered and at the root of my business models. I don't believe I can do this by myself. No. And if everything in life I have to equate to God. So, yeah. That praying before business meetings, have intentional business meetings, which I've just recently started, but now I'm more intentional behind it. Definitely been something that's helped me propel and just stay calm and keeping that psychology and mental flow while going through any challenges, especially like that door situation, because I'm sure this was their first time in Dallas. I'm like, I'm so sorry, because I didn't want that to be their first experience in Dallas. You know what I mean? I feel like I need to represent a bit better, but I think just having those moments and understanding like, hey, I am doing the best I can. God is not going to put me in a situation that I cannot get out of. He will not put more on me than I can bear. So understanding that helped me get through a lot of different things, to be honest. So expansion plans for my business. Hold on, let me move the camera angle a little. Okay, expansion plans for my business. Can't share too many things. I'm one of those people like you just have to find out. So come back to find out. We are in some conversations with my business partner, possibly even bringing on another business partner, and talking to some realtors. So we'll see how it goes. I have a lot of friends and colleagues in the real estate industry. We don't necessarily have to go through realtors, but I am just super excited for what's next, and you are going to stay tuned to see what's next too. And of course, like I mentioned, I always put some time each week to focus on my business in some which way or fashion. So upgrading our processes, our automations, even maybe developing some type of apps. There's many different things coming in the future. Actually working on a course right now. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but you have a free Airbnb checklist that you can check out. Links in my bio, and you'll see like free Airbnb checklist guide. It literally has all the steps that you need, 7 steps, super easy, that are broken down, because honey, I like checklists. I like things that are clear cut and easy to follow. But literally the guide to get you started on your way to getting your first property. So if you've been watching my journey, thank you so much. This past year has just been full of lessons of peace, gratitude, and growth in so many ways, and trusting God's timing, so imperative. So thank you so much for your support and for coming along with me in this journey. Just want you to remember that like the journey isn't about starting perfectly, it's just about starting with where you are at. And just remember that as you go through. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope that you'd like to take this journey with me, because we're just getting started. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.